Hello everyone, and welcome to a special edition of CoinGeek Conversations. In the next 2 weeks, we will take a look at some of the most memorable moments that took place in CoinGeek conferences past. We will also give you a sneak peek of one of the hottest topics that will be discussed in the upcoming BSV Global Blockchain Convention that will be held in Dubai. But first, here's a look at CoinGeek conferences highlights in the last 2 years.
This is going to be a tipping point. I think a lot of people are getting educated on what can be done. This will be the only game in town. It's going to put BSV in everybody's hands globally.
Bitcoin is back with Bitcoin SV, a new dawn.
The innovation and potential of blockchain and cryptocurrency among other applications has exponential possibilities and growth.
The most important thing that we can share is the data, and that all patients' healthcare data matters.
Bitcoin SV is a fundamental cornerstone of the tech ecosystem necessary to build the XR metaverse.
One entity requires blockchain the most is the government.
An ambitious project by the South Pacific island of Tuvalu to create the world's first national digital ledger.
There's only 100 of these watches being made. Have you earmarked one for yourself, Calvin?
I'm going to buy 3 of them, one for me and one for the 2 other gentlemen that were with me in June 2015 at that meeting in my penthouse deck, drinking red wine that led to all of this and to the salvation of the original Bitcoin protocol as BSV. Stephen Matthews and Satoshi himself.
Bitcoin in its initial formulation was meant to serve as a trustless medium of exchange. It now seems to have become more a speculative financial asset, and I think that's the fundamental issue. It's not just a scarcity that is going to generate value, but what the real value proposition is the key question.
Gaming is the bridge to bring new people into the world of blockchain and crypto. It is causing people not just to think about it as like a speculative asset, but they can see the true utility of blockchain. And it is the bridge that will bring people into wallets, education, understanding, unlike anything else.
Key, though, is not anonymity, it's attestation. What Bitcoin enables is if the government comes to you and challenges your story, you have an immutable ledger to cite.
We've got this thing that doesn't compete with banks the way that people think. Bitcoin isn't a bank, it's digital cash.
That's right.
Build an app that gives them cash. Build it so that they can start spending their own money and not pay transaction fees that are huge, not 3% on MasterCard, a fraction of a cent. Because those several billion people matter. Those people fucking matter. And I'll swear on this one. So build something for them.
It's about time.
It's about time. The second place entry in the 4th BSV Hackathon is TKS points. And that means our winner of the 4th Hackathon is Bitcoin Phone, winning $50,000 USD in BSV. Let's give them a big round of applause to all of them. Congratulations to you both.
There's so many smart people in BSV, especially today. It's completely different from what it was in 2018.
The conference has been great. Very professional, very focused, quality people.
There's 5 or 7 completely different angles that BSV can hit a home run in. The takeaway is very, very positive, and it's a celebration.
CoinGeek New York has been a total win.
And I want to thank everyone who has been here to support us. And it's been really difficult to get people here because of COVID restrictions and travel. But you know, it's been amazing. And now it's about time to wrap CoinGeek New York, but welcome everyone to join us in Dubai for CoinGeek Dubai, our first in the Middle East region for another amazing CoinGeek adventure. We can't wait to make that another win.
That was Bitcoin Association's Jimmy Nguyen at the CoinGeek Conference after party in New York. Speaking of the Big Apple, CoinGeek held its 8th and most recent conference in the city with an impressive lineup of speakers showcasing the latest developments on the BSV blockchain. One of the highlights is Jeffrey Bake's presentation of Pearson, an app that facilitates seamless integration of BSV with existing websites like Twitter and soon Amazon. Let's take a look.
So that's why we built Pearson. I'm extremely excited to show you what it is. We've launched it 4 days ago, and it's going pretty well. People seem to like it. Pearson is a browser extension that let you send and receive Bitcoin anywhere on the internet. You simply need to connect your Handcash wallet. So it's not a wallet. It's a system that relays the transaction from the wallet. So what it does is that it actually turns the websites into Bitcoin-compatible application by altering the user interface of the websites. So there are 3 ways to use Pearson. Right now, we only support Paymail and Connect, but I'll explain what we can do with Pearson. So Paymail is the address protocol on BSV. So when you see a Paymail on the website, or either inside the chat room like this, or Twitter, Facebook, Reddit, if you see a Paymail, the extension will highlight the Paymail address so that you can send money to instantly. So, you know, this guy is saying, "Hello, Lucy, what's your Paymail? I sent you $10 I owe you last night." And Lucy posted a Paymail address, then just like that. Yeah, you can send money over pretty much anywhere on the internet. The Connect it provides the better user experience than Paymail even, because the Paymail, you're only targeting BSV people, right? The BSV people already have Paymail, so they posted it on Twitter bio or Medium so that you can receive money. But what about the people who don't have extension or don't know anything about Bitcoin or don't have any wallet, right? So if you connect Twitter account into your Pearson, in the Twitter user interface, we'll create a button just like that, the Lightning button. It's not real, the Lightning network, but it's a Lightning button. So you'll be able to click that button and send it to anyone on Twitter, regardless of whether they're a user or not. So it's just like that. Click it. So I'm sending $5 to Naval. Done. That's it, right? So how do they receive money if they're not a Bitcoin user or extension user or Handcash user? You'll be able to click that share button, and it will directly lead to a place where you can leave a comment on this guy, Naval, right? And saying, "Hey, Naval, I sent you $5. You can click this link and claim your money." So the money will be returned after 24 hours if Naval doesn't claim it. So this is how we can expand Bitcoin ecosystem to non-BSV or non-crypto users. So who doesn't want free $5 from strangers? The Connect, it's not only just the social payment. It allows you to buy goods and products on any e-commerce sites without going through registration, sign in, filling out information, credit card information, email verification. All this, the traditional internet funnels are entirely gone. So once you submit your home address at Pearson, you'll be able to go to Amazon, Best Buy, eBay, any website. Just click a product you want to buy. We'll create a buy button, and then you just click to make a purchase. And we'll take care of the currency conversion, and we'll use the third-party API to have Amazon deliver the product you want. So this redundant processes of getting registered and filling out information, handing out all your data to e-commerce sites, it's gone because you don't even have to be an Amazon user in order to buy product at Amazon.
Online games are proving to be the next level on the BSV blockchain. So up next, we'll hear from leaders in the online gaming industry, including Haste Arcade, Handcash, Nifty Jigs, and American esports organization built by gamers.
We're not game developers at the end of the day, right? Like, we're technologists and designers and entrepreneurs, but we're not game developers. And so rather than just building a game, we wanted to build a platform for gamers and game developers that we called Haste Arcade, all based around the notion of instant leaderboard payouts. And so the concept is just like the original Haste game, right? But we want to be able to allow game developers to participate in this ecosystem as well. So not only does Haste produce games, but other third-party groups can do it as well. So for gamers, it's super interesting, right? I get to play games that I'm already playing, rather than purchasing in-app purchases or in-app currencies. I can just have a chance to earn money. So that's exciting for me. That's engaging for me, right, as a gamer. But what about game developers? Game developers have a hard choice to make when it comes to creating a business. They have to do advertising. They have to do a subscription model. They can do in-app purchases, in-app currencies, etc. It's not always great for a gamer or game developer from an experience perspective. But what if instead they can participate in ILP and get paid every time someone plays their game? At that point, we have an aligned incentive model. Game developers create great games that are engaging and people want to play, so they get paid more, right? They can build a business around that. And gamers get better games at the end of the day.
Nifty Jigs is a platform for supercharging digital goods for games and more. And Buddy is an example of one of these supercharged digital goods from our upcoming game, Durodogs. So what makes Buddy supercharged? Buddy's ownable. Buddy's an NFT. We've heard about NFTs. Maybe we've heard good things, maybe we've heard bad things. But what we know about NFTs is they make it easy to buy, sell, trade, and do more with digital goods. More importantly, perhaps, Buddy is customizable. Every Durodog starts unique, and we're talking about billions of unique Durodogs with a unique nature, a unique look. But more important than that is the fact that as Buddy traverses the possibilities, the games which can incorporate a Durodog, Buddy grows, Buddy changes, Buddy becomes more personal to you. And this is all possible because Buddy and other digital goods created on the Nifty Jigs platform are interoperable. Interoperability is a buzzword. A lot of the times it's used, but for us, it's extremely core to our mission. It's really the essence of our platform, and we think that we can achieve this because of the power of the BSV blockchain and the micropayments it enables. We don't think interoperability in 2021 is a technical problem. It's an economic problem. And it's an economic problem that can be solved using micropayments and using micropayments to commercialize digital goods. We're creating NFTs, which are not just for speculation. They're for actual use, and they're to facilitate real commercial activity.
In April, Handcash announced the Duro to the world. The Duro is the virtual currency that powers this new ecosystem. A Duro is a denomination of Bitcoin SV. Exactly 200,000 Duros equals 1 BSV. This allows us to put prices on digital goods that previously didn't have prices before and create horizontal gaming economies.
Ultimately, I believe, actually I know, that BBG teaming up with BSV and with our partners will be able to create the best fan experience that the world has seen. The way that we can use this technology to create gamification of the fan experience and to create unique experiences for our fans. This will help us elevate above our competition. Our peer organizations are all making crypto plays right now, but they're all about NFTs and collectibles. So some of the things we're going to do, whether it's access to games, we will do collectibles, but things like Durodogs and other supercharged digital items, imagine the gamification, kind of like how fantasy sports did to football, we can do with esports and create these really sticky relationships and thereby driving a really loyal fan base.
In June 2021, BSV Technical Director Steve Shatters did a live demo on TerraNode at the CoinGeek conference in Zurich, Switzerland. In his demo, the Node software handled over 50,000 transactions per second. Take a look.
Now we're going to start exactly the same configuration, but we're going to do it using 4 nodes instead of 2. Now, this will actually create additional load on the system because whilst we break pipelines up in parallel, there are actually points where they have to talk to each other, and we call that cross-shard communication. So you don't expect to get perfect horizontal scalability because you will basically increase the amount of network throughput that is happening. This is an example. Here we go. Yeah, this is an example of the network usage under that particular configuration. So you can see that as it was ramping up, the network usage increased, and you can see that the CPU usage increased. This is pretty much the fail point when the CPU started to get saturated. So this one is creeping up. It's well and truly past the point where the 2-node configuration failed, and we're just about to cross the fail threshold right now. So let's take a look at where we got to. We are there. And we can see we've got about 50,000. So that's actually almost close to perfect, which is unusual. But I guess the demo gods are smiling on me today. This particular configuration isn't completely optimized. There are all sorts of optimizations that are still available to us because we've been focusing on the framework itself. We have run this across all 10 nodes, and I have actually seen volumes in excess of 100,000 per second. I wasn't quite brave enough to try that one today, live on stage. But there we have a real-life example of a Terra node that is able to scale.
2021 was also the year when the very first CoinGeek TV broadcasted live at the conference. TA CEO Stefan Matthews revealed to CoinGeek TV host Patrick Thompson the very first time he laid eyes on what would be the Bitcoin white paper. And later on, financial cryptographer Ian Grigg talks about the very first time he met Dr. Craig Wright.
When you were looking at these documents, was it clear at that point in time that what he was showing you was Bitcoin? Or when did you suspect that that Craig was Satoshi Nakamoto and that what he was showing you was actually Bitcoin? Did that click right away, or did that happen sometime later in the future?
Well, it was pretty clear it was Bitcoin because he referenced Bitcoin as a brand in his discussions with me, but I'll be completely honest, as I always have. Unlike many people who say they read the white paper for the first time and then had this magic moment where they went, "Oh, this is world changing," I didn't have that experience. Had I not had the experience over a number of months where I spent time with Craig talking about the various accumulation of ideas, and if I read the white paper in 2009, 2010, I might have had a different reaction. But to be honest, when I saw the first version of the white paper, as I say, it was pre-release or before it was posted. My comment to Craig was I didn't believe this was going to amount to anything at all, and I was very clear on that front. So, I didn't have that magic moment, and I didn't have this enormous initial belief in what we have today. Now, obviously my personal view on that has changed dramatically over the years. Otherwise, I wouldn't be sitting here in the positions that I am in companies in this industry.
I'd been talking to one of the other members of the Satoshi team for quite some time. And that allowed me to build up a picture of what was going on. Eventually, I and Craig connected and met so that the circle was closed. And at that point, when I first met him, it was not, shall we say, revealed as to who they were. And I had to form my own opinions. So I walked into the meeting with, a big question mark in my mind: is Craig going to pass muster as the person who leads the Satoshi team? And I laid out these little tests for him to see if he'd trigger with certain levels of information. And as I laid them out bit by bit, he passed every one with sterling colours. It was just quite amazing to hear how he redirected my questions, and he showed me stuff, and we talked about things. And
Let's now look back at CoinGeek London 2020. Famed economist and technology visionary George Gilder talked about problems that the world economy faces and how Bitcoin can be the solution.
Now, there's a twofold scandal in the world economy. One is the total collapse of internet security. It makes everybody paranoid. We're scared of routers and switches, from Huawei, which have been made, put on the entities list, along with weapons of mass destruction and poison gas. So the breakdown of internet security is a disease that is infecting the whole world economy. And that has to be corrected. The other great crisis is the scandal of money. Today, the world's biggest industry is not transportation or food or medicine or anything you might imagine. It's currency trading. And daily currency trading, I've been saying all around the world that it's $5.1 trillion a day, which is 25 times all global GDP and 73 times roughly all global trade in goods and services. But the Bureau of Bank for International Settlements has done its new triennial survey, and it shows that in the last 3 years, currency trading has risen from $5.1 trillion a day by 30% to $6.6 trillion a day. And this is totally worthless activity. It doesn't even stop trade wars, endless hedging of any transaction across borders. It's a fiasco. It's a scandal of money. And the great thing about the blockchain and Bitcoin SV is that it offers the promise of solving both these great crises: the Ponzi money and porous internet, where all the money and power rises to the top. All the data rises to the top where it can be hacked. And that's the scandal of internet security, which in 2019 was worst ever by a factor of 4. So when people imply that the blockchain is some exotic and extreme solution to non-problems that have been completely mastered by all the wise men and the central banks and the governments of the world, we all know that's wrong. The sign of a broken paradigm is the more money you spend, the worse the results. Internet security spending rises roughly 20% a year. The result, the number of breaches explodes. Currency trading increases 30% every 3 years. Result, trade wars and monetary crises. The remedy for both, what Daniel Patrick Moynihan, an American professor, politician, used to call a unity, a solution that changes a number of different problematics, is a unity. And Satoshi's blockchain is a unity that addresses this core problem of the world economy.
And last but definitely not the least, let's hear from nChain Chief Scientist Dr. Craig Wright discussing Satoshi's visions at the CoinGeek London 2020. Here's a portion of that clip.
Bitcoin's about money, and money gets used. So I want people to start realizing peer-to-peer is cash. Peer-to-peer is people. Peer-to-peer is all this stuff that we've been thinking about there that I've talked about time and time again. It's really something that should be simple. Signatures require a name. You don't need to give everyone your name. This is the difference with Bitcoin. If I transact with another person, I get their name, but I don't need to share it. That's what privacy is about. And if you did something really naughty and the other person knows you did really naughty things, stiff, that's your problem. I mean, really, if you're going to do naughty things with someone, then this is reality. You can't trust criminals, so don't do deals with them.
And that wraps up this episode of CoinGeek Conversations. Thanks for watching. Join me again next week as we give you a teaser of what's to come at the BSV Global Blockchain that will be held in Dubai this May. See you then.
This May, in Dubai, the BSV Global Blockchain Convention will bring together communities and unveil new breakthrough technologies. You'll be ushered into a world of collaboration and innovation where you can network with hundreds of expert practitioners, pioneer thinkers, leaders, professionals, and entrepreneurs. Learn from forward-thinking brands and startups. Discover functional applications that enhance end-user experiences and create value and utility. The BSV Global Blockchain Convention is your gateway to engaging with scalable on-chain solutions and building long-lasting business partnerships. Turn ideas into reality. Propel your business forward. Join us at the BSV Global Blockchain Convention, May 24 to 26 in Dubai.
Data is double-edged. Wield it well and build your place in tomorrow. But trust it blindly and risk watching your progress crumble. Because much of the data we rely upon isn't reliable at all. At nChain, we believe in data, but we put no faith in it. Instead, we build tools that enable enterprises to trust the data upon which they rely. nChain, data without question.
Bitcoin mining, Bitcoin wallet, blockchain, stablecoins, MetaNet, the evolution of money. Everybody is talking about Bitcoin today, but what exactly is it? Learn the basics from experts. Learn what Bitcoin is, how it works, and why it matters. Bitcoin 101, your ultimate guide to the fundamentals of blockchain.